Today, stop getting killed in the Elden Ring DLC for a few minutes and pay attention. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint, back after a 3-week hiatus and feeling punchier than ever.
Mostly I just feel jet-lagged.
Ah, so stabby then.
Oh, extremely.
Before I dive into the latest nonsense on its way to Fortnite, I'd like to show you a data mined announcement trailer. Yes, the turn your enemies into horrible fried chicken statues gun is on its way to Call of Duty. In fact, it's already available on Call of Duty Mobile. Fans of the franchise are confused, and some are blaming Fortnite for the long shadow of influence its all-encompassing metaversal nonsense casts and the effects that it's having on the industry. For hyper-realistic shooter bastion Call of Duty to debut a gun that would comfortably be maybe a bit much for a Ratchet and Clank game, they might be onto something. But what is coming to Fortnite? Well, according to another data mine leak, the Tesla Cybertruck. It hasn't actually been officially confirmed yet, so maybe it's only a proof of concept, and the quad-recalled low-poly coping truck won't be coming to Fortnite. But they've done full skin mock-ups, including an alternate version smashed windshield as a very funny self-deprecation reference to when Elon demonstrated the truck's smash-proof glass. I hope the truck will also rust in the rain, crush fingers in its frunk lid, and sometimes auto-accelerate you into a wall because the pedal got wedged under the interior skirting, just like the real Cybertruck. However, we can confirm that a much more expertly engineered car is coming to Fortnite. It's NASCAR. Kind of. NASCAR and development partner Carta sent out a press release that seems to be announcing a custom map for Fortnite's odd rocket racing mode. And I'm mostly talking about it because we don't get to read press releases that often, but they're always unhinged and ramble on in ways that regular people don't actually talk. Quote, NASCAR has always been about pushing boundaries and connecting with fans in exciting ways, says Nick Rend, managing director of esports and gaming at NASCAR, describing things I would previously never have associated with NASCAR. Pushing boundaries? NASCAR didn't even ban the Confederate flag until 2020. Anyway, he continues, quote, Fortnite provides the perfect platform to engage a global audience, blending the intensity of NASCAR racing with the immersive world of Fortnite. We wanted to build something with longevity for both die-hard NASCAR enthusiasts and the wider Fortnite community, and we think we've succeeded with just that. Nick, buddy, you made a custom map for a side mode in Fortnite. You want to do something innovative, give those cars a gun that turns other cars into fried chicken and we'll talk.
The Elden Ring DLC came out! Praise be! Finally our streamers and bingo brawlers will know relief, and your erstwhile CheckPoint hosts will know some new punchlines. First up, Mesmer is really hard. Like really, really hard. And that means legendary Elden Ring co-op cryptid Let Me Solo Her has returned as Let Me Solo Him. This actually isn't funny, but I'm allowed to like nice things, so let's move on to a different way to beat Shadow of the Erdtree's horrific bosses. Like with a Roland Aerophone AE10 electric saxophone. Streamer Dr. Decomposing did it only after a dozen attempts, so what's your excuse? Oh, you're waiting for the movie. Fair. So are Hidetaka Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin, both of whom have been dropping increasingly blatant hints that they'd like to make a movie or a television series based on the incredibly popular game. Which makes sense because there's so much detail to the Elden Ring story that there's only hinted at in the game. If only there was some way for George R.R. Martin to collect all the ideas he'd created together into a form that would allow us to enjoy them, like a medium that calls to him, like podcasting.
Sega wants to make that crazy money, and they've decided that one avenue to do so is via the Crazy Taxi franchise. Apart from a couple of since delisted mobile titles, we haven't seen a proper game in the series since 2002's Crazy Taxi 3 High Roller, and attempts to capitalize on the nostalgia since then haven't found tremendous success. But Sega thinks this time will be different. This time, It's going to be an open world, massively multiplayer game that, according to a job posting for a lead game designer, Sega wants to be a, quote, global hit, primarily in the North American market. And this sounds like Square Enix levels of setting yourself up to fail. You know that thing where Square decides that their new game needs to have the same install base as Christianity, and when it's only as popular as just Catholicism, it's actually a total failure, and they have to apologize on their investors' call? I could maybe see an arcade-style battle royale where you need to be the craziest taxi standing after 15 minutes of 1990s mayhem. But in 2024, massively multiplayer open world and global hit are not achievable in the same game for anyone. And I'm not going to tell you how to live, but if you're listening to this and thinking, well, my nostalgia is strong enough to warrant a new open world crazy taxi game, just go listen to Ixnay on the Ombre until the feeling subsides.
EA has announced that the latest Sims 4 DLC, Lovestruck, is going to finally support polyamorous Sims. In the press release, EA describes the romantic boundary system as allowing players to define how their Sims approach relationships in terms of physical and emotional romantic exclusivity. Polyamory has been a long requested feature for The Sims, and there's already several different mods that implement it slightly differently. But what remains unanswered about this new official version is who's going to do all these dishes, and whether or not we agreed that you two were going to wait so we could finish watching The Bear together. Sims, entities who can famously dial while making grilled cheese, aren't going to have to deal with these issues, so we can add navigating notoriously challenging polyamorous relationships to the long list of things that Sims can do that you can't, presumably due to their superior level of self-awareness. The list now includes cooking, cleaning, bathing, exercising, communicating needs, learning to paint, expressing themselves through the medium of painting, completing a painting, selling a painting, putting away their paints, paying rent, reading a book, writing a book, expressing themselves through the writing of a book, getting a job, expressing themselves with the unambiguous iconography of a thought bubble, playing The Sims, leaving another Sim in peace while they play The Sims, bathing, owning a home, and cleaning.
We finally know why Dr. Disrespect was banned from Twitch, and it's very possible that you don't know who that is or even give a shit, and wow, I wish that were me. Prior to a couple weeks ago, the situation as we knew it was as follows. A streamer whose real name is Herschel Guy Beam IV streamed behind the character of Dr. Disrespect, a 1980s mustache-clad, boisterous cool guy reminiscent of a wrestling persona, and one that slowly became less like a fictional character and more like an excuse for Beam's own crappy opinions and personality. Despite being under one of Twitch's rarefied streaming contracts, he was abruptly banned from the service in 2020, and neither party would share why, Beam claiming he had no idea. In 2021, Beam would then say that he'd known why for months and would be suing Twitch for lost money as they banned him before his contract was complete. Eventually, the suit was settled, with Twitch paying out the remainder of Beam's contract and, quote, no party admits to any wrongdoing, which was odd because clearly something happened, but there were NDAs and legal whatevers, and we were just never going to find out. Plus, it gave the good doctor years of material to use, vaguely and in some cases directly, lambasting the purple snakes at Twitch for ruining his career while he tried to rebuild his following on YouTube and with the video game developer he co-founded to make that NFT-based first-person shooter. I really want to stress that he says he knew why he was banned before he sued Twitch, and under the smokescreen of non-disclosure agreements, he's been using the fact that nobody in the public knew why to spin a narrative that he was unfairly kicked out. He was sexting with a minor. Wait, sorry, for legal reasons I'll go from his own statement on the matter. These were, quote, casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate. With a minor. That, from his statement on Twitter, in which he briefly edited out the word minor before presumably realizing anyone can see his edits and adding it back in. All of this came out recently because some former Twitch employees basically leaked that some famously banned person had been having chats with a minor using Twitch's old Whispers functionality, which explains why Twitch also didn't want to say anything publicly. They don't want people knowing that streamers were engaging in this behavior on their service. This is probably why the messaging system was discontinued. And if we want to make further assumptions, Twitch posted a community message on June 24th, 2020, highlighting work they were doing to address allegations of sexual misconduct between streamers and viewers and encouraging those brave enough to step forward. Beam was banned 2 days later. It's wild no one put that together back in 2020, but we can assume someone read that as a call to action, recalled these inappropriate conversations they'd had in 2017, and reported it. And so, after vague tweeting around it for a few days, Beam posted his carefully worded and still grotesquely damning statement, diehard fans clinging to the notion that maybe he didn't know the miner was a miner. Go read his statement again. If he could have used that excuse, he would have. He finished the statement by saying he was going to take an extended streaming break to be with family, which includes his wife that he famously cheated on at TwitchCon in 2017, the same year he was messaging this miner, but that he intends to return to streaming, quote, with this weight off his shoulders. No mention that he's also been dropped by his sponsor Turtle Beach, had his YouTube channel demonetized, and was fired from the NFT gaming company he co-founded. But he does say that he'll, quote, fucking own his shit. So maybe that was covered under that umbrella. Now that everyone knows what the shit is, time to start owning it.
Good riddance to an odious man. I look forward to never hearing about Dr. Disrespect again.
Who?
You've already purged your memory?
Oh, yeah, no, I can't keep creeps up in my brain cells. I need space up there for useful things.
Like what?
Ham.
Really?
Yeah, there's so many different kinds of ham.
Coming up. Good news if you were a fan of Club Nintendo, the loyalty reward program for Nintendo superfans that ran from 2002 to 2015. Author Oscar Bone has compiled a 300-page book with photos of every single reward, perfect if you missed out or can't get to Bij's house to look at them. Obviously, Bij does not have every Club Nintendo reward, but I bet he's got a few of them.
He would if he could.
Yeah.
So wet-cured hams,
Okay.
also referred to as city hams, which sounds derogatory in this context,
Yeah.
are immersed or injected with like a brine with like salt and sugar and spices or something. So that's different from dry cured.
Yeah, like your
which
Iberico ham.
Yeah, and like you rub it when you smoke it and stuff. This is a fascinating article on Better Homes and Gardens. As Paul questioned, is ham, is it a home thing or a garden thing?
Surely it's both, because it starts out in the garden, eating kitchen scraps and then goes into your house.
Ham's like an amphibian of homes and gardens. It's born in one environment. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah, lots of different kinds of ham.
Yeah.
That punchline came about because I was writing that and I was like, Graham, what's the least important thing you care about? As I believe the prompt I asked for.
Yeah, the thing is, I think there's things I care about that aren't even as important as ham.
No, I know, but I think ham is just very reductive and it's got good mouthfeel, so excellent.
Oh, yeah. Oh, ham's got great mouthfeel. Are you kidding?
Now, the dry cured or the wet cured ham, which one has a better mouthfeel?
Heritage hams are made from. Anyway, okay, I got to talk about this fried chicken gun briefly because I can't believe this is Call of Duty. I think everyone who's like, what is this Fortnite nonsense, is justified in saying so.
Yeah, it seems wild to me.
Yeah, it's you shoot them with it and their whole body crisps up.
Ew.
Into like a fried chicken statue and then they explode into nuggets.
Ew. That's like body horror.
And that
would be a Mortal Kombat fatality in the 1990s. You just change the color palette.
There's a clip of because the guns in Call of Duty Mobile. There's a thing you can do. I don't know how you invoke this or whatever, but it's like a healing thing where like you have the gun and you take a raw chicken and you like put it over the end of the gun and fire it and it goes like thump into like a full fried chicken and then your character eats it like off bottom of shot and gets health back and it's like this is so weird. And I know Call of Duty has had like a zombies mode forever, right? And like that's obviously like a fantastical thing, but like this, I don't know, man.
That's more extra weird.
It's so odd. Yeah, Elden Ring DLC is finally out.
You finally gotten to play it?
Finally got to play a little bit of it. We were away. So they've done a couple patches since it came out. Basically, it came out and everyone's like, it's so good, it's amazing, it's so hard. And so they've tweaked. This is interesting. I thought this was an interesting thing because there's a segment of FromSoft fans who are very binary about things, and so I want to make it clear they did not nerf the DLC, but they adjusted the sort of how you gain progression in the DLC area so that it's faster to improve initially But now, basically, like it used to be, you improve over time because the DLC area has its own separate leveling system. So that like being level, I don't know, 150 or whatever, and you can't just like trundle into the DLC area and kick everyone's ass. Like it has its own scaling based on items you find in the DLC area. And so it used to be more sort of like a linear scaling, and now it's like faster initially and then slower in the back half. So it's just as difficult, but it's a little easier to crack just at the start, which I think is probably a good change. And they made it so that one of the there was like a lightning attack that was busted. There was like a thing that you like throw a series of sort of lightning projectiles, and they'll hit different things. But it used to be, as of yesterday at time of recording, if you threw it at the ground on an enemy, they would all just go boop, 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 boop into the ground and then explode up into the enemy, doing like preposterous amounts of damage. And so they've fixed it so that doesn't do that anymore, because that was not intended. Apparently PvP has been like ruined by this DLC, but I don't PvP, so I don't care. The difficult part is that I can't watch any of my
favorite streamers right now.
My Elden Ring streamers, because we were away. We left the day before the DLC came out, and so the whole time we were away, I was just like, I want to play it. So it's pretty sweet now.
Can I talk about something sweet that came out in a different game?
Please.
All right, so I play Marvel Snap.
Oh yeah.
And a new
Still.
Yeah. I was talking to some people at Magic Con, and they're like, "Oh, you're still playing that? I quit." I was like, "Good for you." But I was talking to Eiley, who works in coverage, and Eiley has a child.
Yeah.
And I have a child. And we like Marvel Snap. She plays it because you can play Marvel Snap for 5 minutes at a time. Mm-hmm. And it's great if you're like, okay, I just have to set a 5-minute timer before I have to, do like stuff for you, right? So I'll play one game of Marvel Snap. I play significantly more than one game a day, but it can be a fun game. But a new character just came out by the name of like Arshem, or I don't know how you'd pronounce it. Some Marvel character I don't know about.
Yeah, you don't. That's the funniest thing, is that you don't care at all about the Marvel IP. Like you only know these characters from playing Snap.
Correct.
And you do not care about.
I do not even like the Marvel movies. I just like the game mechanics. You could skin this game with anything else and it would not impact my enjoyment one bit.
Arishem, the judge.
The judge.
One of the two celestials who have the right and ability to judge which planet's civilization will live and which will die.
Yeah, he's kind of a jerk. But anyhow, he says that when you put him into your deck, you shuffle in 12 random cards, and you get plus 1 energy a turn. So you get to start with 2 energy, and you have 7 energy by the turn 6. Like, it's very good for you. Mm-hmm. But you got all these random cards in your deck. So I've been kind of experimenting with how to use that, and it is very funny because literally I don't think I've not fought. What is his actual name?
Arishem the Judge.
I don't think I've fought a non-Arishem deck since this card came out. It's incredible. Everybody spent all of their keys on them. I spent 4 keys to get this thingamajiggy, and I'm happy with it because it's bullshit combo go. May the better player win. Who knows what's going on, right? Mm-hmm. I love it. I think the answer is low key. Actually, build like a deck with a bunch of answers and a bunch of ways to generate extra cards, because you have so much stuff, or you have so much mana, but you might have crap cards that aren't good to play. Mm. So you put in your Nick Furies and your Agent Coulsons finally.
So your thought is to stack your deck with bad cards.
No. My thought is to stack my deck with cards that reduce my cost even further.
Oh, okay.
And that generate even more cards for me.
Okay, gotcha.
I want as many cards as possible.
Anyone out there still snapping? Let us know.
Yeah, let me know in the comments about what your Arishem, what your you give so few shits about the IP. What are your Arishem decks, man? Let me know. Give me those lists.
Arishem, from Marvel Snap.
Yeah.
Hey, it's good to be back. Obviously, we were off for a couple weeks because a bunch of folks were away and variously unwell. We're fine. Like we're fine.
We were away,
Yeah, we were away.
but other people were not. They were just sick.
Yeah, and
It's like being away, but worse.
yeah, it's like being away, but you have to stay in your bed.
Yeah.
Well, actually, sounds nice.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go get in the bed. But a reminder that everything that we do here at Loading Ready Run is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, or you can become a member on this very YouTube channel. Shout outs to them at the end of the video. We have the subathon coming up on the 15th.
Woo!
Look for more information about what that schedule is going to look like, because right now, as of time of recording, it's not reflected in the calendar yet. You're going to want to tune in for that. But otherwise, yeah, things are good. Please like the video and leave a comment and all the stuff that helps other people see it. Don't know why that's the way it is, but it is. Okay, bye.
Bye.